On the day of the reading of the will, the siblings sat in their father's study, their hearts pounding with uncertainty. The lawyer arrived, looking serious. As he opened the will, the siblings held their breath, waiting for their father's final words. "You are my beloved children," the lawyer began. "But there is a hidden will." The siblings exchanged worried glances. Why was there a hidden will? Their hearts raced as the lawyer continued. "In this will, your mother is not your biological parent." The revelation struck them like a lightning bolt. Confusion, anger, and betrayal washed over them. Their mother, Mum Nkechi, had kept this secret all these years. How could she? The room fell silent, and the siblings stared at one another, each feeling a whirlwind of emotions.
After a heavy pause, Mom Nkechi nodded, her expression softening. "I understand. I promise to support you as you seek the truth. But please be careful. Not everyone has your best interests at heart." The siblings agreed, but Chika couldn't shake the feeling of unease that lingered. As they returned to their rooms, the air felt thick with unresolved tension. Over the next few days, the rivalry between the siblings began to surface. Chika, driven by her desire for the truth, began digging deeper into their father's past. She contacted Amara again to arrange a meeting with Ifeoma and Neka, while Obi felt a growing sense of resentment. "I think we should take a step back," Obi argued one evening. "We don't know what we're getting into. This could blow up in our faces, but we can't ignore it," Chika replied, her frustration mounting. "This is about our family, and we owe it to ourselves to find out the truth." "You're just being reckless," Obi shot back, his temper flaring. "What if Neka doesn't want to meet us? What if she's just after our father's money?" Chika crossed her arms, glaring at Obi. "That's not the point. This isn't just about money, it's about family. We can't just turn our backs on someone who might share our blood, no matter the circumstances." Ada, caught in the middle, looked between her siblings, wishing for peace. "Can't we approach this without fighting? I want to know more about Neka too, but we need to be cautious. We can investigate together." Obi sighed, running his fingers through his hair in frustration. "I don't want to be reckless, Chika. I'm just saying we should think this through. We have enough chaos with Mom Nkechi's secrets, and now this text message warning us to be careful. It feels like trouble is coming." Chika's heart raced at the thought. "Maybe you're right," she said, her tone softening. "But what if we miss out on a chance to connect with someone who could be important to us? I think we should at least meet Neka and Ifeoma, but we need to do it on our terms," Obi suggested, his voice calmer now. "We should set boundaries, and if things feel off, we walk away." Chika nodded, feeling a flicker of hope. "Okay, I can agree to that. Let's set up the meeting and see how it goes." As they reached a tentative agreement, Chika felt a sense of determination fill the air. However, the weight of the unknown lingered, leaving them all on edge. The next day, Chika contacted Amara and arranged the meeting with Neka and Ifeoma. They settled on a cafe in the city, a neutral space where everyone could feel comfortable. As the day approached, the siblings couldn't shake the tension that filled their home. On the morning of the meeting, Chika felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. She dressed carefully, wanting to make a good impression. She picked a simple yet elegant dress, hoping it would reflect her seriousness about the situation. Obi and Ada joined her in the living room, both dressed neatly. "Are we ready for this?" Obi asked, pacing nervously. "Ready as we'll ever be," Chika replied, glancing at her watch. "Let's just stick to our plan. We'll meet them, listen to their story, and decide from there." As they left the house, Chika felt a rush of adrenaline. The sun shone brightly, illuminating their path, but her heart was heavy with uncertainty. They arrived at the cafe early, choosing a quiet corner table where they could observe everything. Amara arrived first, her confident demeanor easing Chika's nerves slightly. "You're here," she said, smiling as she approached. "Neka and Ifeoma are on their way. Thanks for arranging this," Chika replied, grateful for Amara's help. A few minutes later, Neka and Ifeoma walked in. Neka was a striking young woman with a warm smile, but there was an air of caution about her. Ifeoma looked older, her eyes reflecting years of heartache and resilience. Chika's breath caught in her throat as she realized how closely Neka resembled their father. "Hello," Ifeoma greeted, her voice steady yet laced with emotion. "Thank you for meeting us." Chika, Obi, and Ada exchanged hesitant glances before Chika replied, "Thank you for coming. We want to hear your side of the story." They all took seats, the tension palpable. Amara sat quietly at the edge, observing the interactions, ready to mediate if necessary. Neka spoke first, her voice surprisingly strong. "I've heard so much about you from my mother. I didn't know I had siblings until recently. It's overwhelming, to say the least." "Yeah, we didn't know about you either," Obi admitted, his voice softer. "It's been a lot to process." Ifioma looked down, her hands trembling slightly. "I never wanted to come between you or disrupt your lives. Your father supported us, but it was a complicated situation. I've always wanted the best for Neka, and I thought it was best for her to stay away from the past." "Do you hate us for not knowing?" Chika asked, feeling vulnerable. "We're just trying to make sense of everything." Neka shook her head. "No, I don't hate you. I just wish things had been different. I want to understand my family and where I fit in. I've grown up knowing I was missing something, and now I finally have a chance to find out what that is." The conversation shifted as they began sharing their stories. Chika, Obi, and Ada spoke about their childhood, their mother, and the shock of discovering their father's secrets. Neka shared her own journey, filled with questions about her father, the life he led, and how she felt caught between two worlds. As the conversation deepened, Chika felt a connection forming, but just as she began to feel comfortable, a commotion erupted outside the cafe. The sound of raised voices cut through their conversation, causing everyone to turn. "What's going on?" Ifioma murmured, her eyes wide with concern. Amara stood up, moving to the window to look outside. "It looks like there's some kind of altercation." "Let's stay calm." But Chika's instincts flared. "We should check it out," she said, standing up. "I don't want anything to ruin this moment." As they approached the entrance, the scene outside unfolded. A group of people were arguing loudly, and a man was gesticulating wildly. Suddenly, Chika's heart sank as she recognized the man. "Wait, that's the guy who sent me the warning message," she exclaimed, feeling a chill run down her spine. "What do you mean?" Obi asked, eyes narrowing. "He's the one who warned us to be careful about pursuing the truth," Chika explained, her pulse quickening. "He must have followed us here." Just then, the man turned, his eyes locking onto Chika's with a sinister glare. "You shouldn't have come here," he shouted, pushing through the crowd towards the cafe. Panic erupted as the siblings realized they were being targeted. "We need to get inside," Obi urged, grabbing Chika's arm. "Run!" Chika yelled, her heart racing as they hurried back into the cafe, adrenaline coursing through their veins. They ducked behind a table, trying to catch their breath as the man stormed inside, searching for them. "Who is he?" Neka whispered, fear evident in her eyes. "I don't know, but he seems to know about our family," Chika replied, her voice trembling. The atmosphere shifted from one of hope to one of impending danger. They had come seeking answers, but now they were caught in a web of threats and uncertainty. Just as the man reached the cafe entrance, Amara stepped in front of him, her voice firm. "You need to leave. You're causing a scene." The man smirked, his expression taunting. "I'm here for them. They need to know the truth, but they might not like it." Obi took a protective stance in front of Chika and Ada, anger flaring within him. "You have no right to threaten us." "Stand down, Obi," Chika whispered urgently. "We can't let this escalate." The tension hung in the air like a taut string, ready to snap. Amara looked between the man and the siblings, weighing her options. "We're leaving," she said decisively, gesturing for the group to follow her. As they maneuvered past the man, he called out, "You'll regret ignoring me." The truth always finds a way to the surface, and it won't be pretty. Chika's heart pounded in her chest as they rushed out of the cafe and into the bustling streets. They needed to escape, but the weight of the man's words lingered in the air, leaving them all shaken. Once outside, they huddled together, adrenaline coursing through their veins. "What just happened?" Ada asked, her voice shaking. "We need to get somewhere safe," Obi said urgently. "This isn't over. Whoever that guy is, he's not going to let this go." Chika felt a mix of fear and determination. "We need to regroup and figure out our next steps. We can't let fear dictate our lives. We have to confront whatever is coming." As they made their way down the street, the chaos of the cafe faded behind them, but the threat of the unknown loomed ahead. They were entangled in a web of secrets and danger, but they would face it together, ready to uncover the truth about their family, no matter the cost. With them seeking refuge at Amara's office, their hearts racing and their minds racing even faster. They knew that this was just the beginning of a much darker journey into the secrets of their father's past and the dangers that lay ahead. Chica's fingers trembled as she held her phone, rereading the threatening message sent earlier by the man at the cafe. The room at Amara's office was silent, except for the hum of the air conditioning. Her siblings sat around her, each lost in their thoughts. Obi broke the silence. Who was that guy? And why is he so interested in us? This is going beyond a family dispute now. Ada, her hands still shaking from the encounter, looked at Chica. Didn't he say something about us not liking the truth? What does that even mean? Chica sighed. I don't know, but I'm starting to think there's more to our father's life than we've uncovered. This man seems to know more about our family than we do. Amara sat quietly in the corner, her eyes scanning through papers on her desk. I can hire someone to look into this man if you want. It's clear he's not just a random troublemaker. No, Obi interrupted. We need to handle this ourselves. Whoever he is, he knows something about our father and what's really going on. Hiring someone else might only make things worse. Chica nodded in agreement. We need answers, not more people involved. But we can't just sit here waiting for him to strike again. Ada, always the more cautious one, raised a concern. Do we really want to dig deeper into this? What if we uncover something that puts us in more danger? Obi scoffed. We're already in danger, Ada. Ignoring this won't make it go away. I'm tired of living in the dark. We deserve to know what's going on with our family. Chica took a deep breath. He mentioned that we wouldn't like the truth. What if this has something to do with the will or our inheritance? Maybe there's more to the family's wealth than we think. Amara stood up, pacing slowly as she spoke. It's possible. Your father had many business dealings, some of which were quite secretive. There could be people out there who feel wronged by him, or who believe they have a claim to his fortune. Chica frowned, considering Amara's words. But how would that connect to us finding out about Neka and Ifioma? Is it possible this man knows something about our mother's real identity? What if that's the truth he's warning us about? Obi's face darkened. You mean, what if Mama isn't just not our biological mother, but there's something even worse behind it? Ada looked horrified. What could be worse than finding out the woman who raised us isn't really our mother? Chica shook her head, a sinking feeling growing in her stomach. I don't know, but we have to be prepared for anything. Whatever our father kept hidden, it was big enough to threaten our lives. The atmosphere in the room thickened with tension, as if an invisible force was pressing down on them. They knew they couldn't go back to their normal lives until the truth was revealed, no matter how painful or dangerous it might be. We need to talk to someone who knew Father well, Chica said, breaking the silence. There's got to be someone who can shed light on all of this. Obi snapped his fingers. What about Uncle Ajike? He was close to Father before they had that falling out years ago. He might know something. Chica hesitated. Uncle Ajike had been a family friend for as long as she could remember, but after a mysterious argument with her father, he had distanced himself from them. Reaching out to him might open up old wounds, but it was their best lead. Ada, always the peacemaker, spoke up. I don't think it's a good idea. Uncle Ajike hasn't been the same since they stopped talking. What if approaching him makes things worse? We don't have a choice, Chica replied firmly. He's the only one who might give us real answers. We're running out of options. Obi stood up. I'll go with you to see him. Ada, you can stay here with Amara and keep an eye on things. We don't know how dangerous that man really is. Amara handed Chica a card. Take this. It has my private number. If anything happens, call me immediately. With a plan in place, Chica and Obi headed for Uncle Ajike's house, their minds racing with questions. What was the connection between their father's secrets, their mother's true identity, and the threats they were facing now? And how far would they have to go to uncover the truth? When they arrived at Uncle Ajike's home, a large compound surrounded by tall iron gates, Chica felt a knot tighten in her stomach. The gates swung open slowly, revealing a once grand house that had fallen into disrepair. It was a stark contrast to the vibrant, lively man she remembered from her childhood. Obi knocked on the heavy wooden door, and after a moment, it creaked open. An older man, weary and gray, stood before them. Uncle Ajike's eyes were sharp, but there was a heaviness about him, as though the years had weighed him down. Chica, Obi, he said, his voice rough. I wasn't expecting to see you here. Chica stepped forward. We need to talk, Uncle. It's about Father. His expression darkened, and he stepped aside, allowing them inside without a word. The house was filled with memories, but the warmth was gone. They sat down in the dimly lit living room. Tension thick in the air. Uncle Ajay took a deep breath. I knew this day would come. Your father, he was a complicated man. There's a lot you don't know. Chica's heart raced. We've already uncovered some things, Uncle. Like the fact that our mother isn't our real mother. But there's more, isn't there? Uncle Ajay's eyes flickered with pain. Yes, there's more. Much more. He paused, looking between them. But once you know the truth, there's no going back. Are you sure you're ready for that? Chica and Obi exchanged a glance. They had come too far to turn back now. We're ready, Chica said, her voice steady despite the fear bubbling inside her. Uncle Ajay sighed heavily. Your father kept many secrets. He was involved in things that could ruin lives, and not just his own. If you want to know the truth, you have to be prepared to face the consequences. There's more at stake here than just money. Obi leaned forward, his face serious. Tell us what you know, Uncle. We can handle it. Uncle Ajay looked them in the eye, his expression grave. It's time you learned what your father was really hiding. But once you do, there's no turning back. The room fell silent, the weight of his words sinking in. Chica's heart pounded in her chest as she realized they were on the edge of discovering something that could change their lives forever. With Uncle Ajay leaning in, ready to reveal the darkest secret of their father's past, one that would leave them questioning everything they thought they knew. Uncle Ajay's gaze was intense, his hands resting on the arms of his worn-out chair as he prepared to speak. Chica and Obi sat still, the anticipation nearly suffocating them. The room felt colder now, the weight of the truth pressing down on them. Uncle Ajay began slowly, as if choosing his words carefully. Your father, Chief Okafor, wasn't just a businessman. Yes, he built his fortune through trade and investments, but there were darker dealings beneath it all. Things he did in secret, things that made him enemies. Chica's heart pounded. She knew her father had always been ambitious, but this was beyond anything she had imagined. What kind of things? Obi asked, his voice low but demanding. Uncle Ajay sighed deeply. Years ago, before he married your mother, your father was involved in a powerful network of business and politics. But this network wasn't just about making money. It was about control. Over people, over land, over everything. Chica frowned. Control? You mean corruption? More than that, Uncle Ajay said, shaking his head. He made deals with people who expected favors in return. And when he couldn't deliver, he found himself in deep trouble. One of those deals involved you and your siblings. Obi's face went pale. Us? What does this have to do with us? Uncle Ajay leaned forward, his voice dropping to a whisper. Your father couldn't have children of his own. Chica and Obi stared at him, stunned into silence. What? Chica whispered. That can't be true. We're his children. Uncle Ajay nodded sadly. Yes, you were raised as his children. But biologically, you aren't. When your father found out that he couldn't have children, he made a desperate choice. He arranged for the adoption of you three from different families, but he kept it a secret from everyone, including your mother. Chica felt her world tilt. Her vision blurred as the weight of his words sank in. Adoption? Her heart raced as she tried to process the revelation. But why keep it a secret? Obi asked, his voice thick with disbelief. Why lie to us our whole lives? Your father was a proud man, Uncle Ajay explained. He couldn't bear the thought of people knowing he wasn't able to continue his legacy with his own blood. So he buried the truth and raised you as his own. But there were people in his circle who knew the truth, people who could use that knowledge against him. Chica's mind was spinning. All these years, she had lived believing in a family that wasn't even real. She felt betrayed, confused, and deeply hurt. And Mama, she asked, her voice trembling. She knew nothing about this. Uncle Ajay hesitated. Not at first, but as time went on, I believe she started to suspect something. Your father's behavior became more secretive, and there were things she couldn't explain. But before she could confront him, she got sick. I think she died without ever knowing the full truth. Obi clenched his fists. So, we're not just dealing with a hidden inheritance. We're not even dealing with our real family. Chica felt tears well up in her eyes. Her whole life had been built on a lie. Who were they, really? Where did they come from? These questions swirled in her mind, overwhelming her. But there's more, Uncle Ajike added, his voice grave. To see how the story unfolds, please like, subscribe, and write return now in the comment. Don't forget to write where you're watching from. It helps us to know when to post the next part. Only on African Tales Retold.